Salutations! Halo Campaign Evolved has been out for a little while now, and I think it's time we tackle this brand new Halo game. I've spent a long time testing each of the weapons, and I'll tell ya, this list will be a doozy. But not as much of a doozy as today's sponsor, the free-to-play online sensation War Thunder. More on this later. As always, I start these videos with an explanation on my ranking criteria, and while I highly recommend watching it to understand why I rank the way I do, the timestamp on screen will automatically take you to the tiering process. This will be based on a solo, legendary run, with no gameplay altering skulls enabled, except for one, the Magnified skull, which replaces the standard assault rifle with a legacy 60 round variant. Both assault rifles are counted as different weapons, and will be tiered separately from each other. I'm also banning any other gameplay modifiers, such as gameplay customization settings as well as remix mode. Just a standard run of the game as intended. This tier list will factor in both the remade campaign as well as the prequel, Operation Meteorite. I thought about making two tier lists, one for each, but the gameplay loop is not different enough for both campaigns. This video will cover the August 17th update of Campaign Evolved. I had to re-record some gameplay because certain relevant glitches were fixed, and I'll mention them later. For me to call a weapon viable, ammo resources have to be common, it takes on as many of the enemy roster as possible, and it's consistent and easy to use. If a weapon's ammo supply is not common, or it burns through ammo too quickly, it won't see proper usage, and in turn, its tiering placement will suffer. Distance is measured by world units. A single world unit is approximately 3 meters in game, looking just like this. Every enemy from the original returns with updated health and shield stats, as well as a few new ranks. The Flood have noticeable changes, including shielded elite combat forms, and more importantly, Halo 3's tank pure form. In the prequel campaign, brutes are included. They are science experiments here, with mind control devices on their chest that when broken, make them berserk and attack their own allies. Speaking of allies, Marines and occasionally crewmen fight alongside you. New to the Combat Evolved setting, you can trade weapons with human NPCs, and some weapons are at their best in their hands. There's also unique characters that respawn after dying, including Johnson, Keyes, and Williams. However, you cannot trade weapons with Johnson and Williams, but you can with Keyes. Finally, there's you, the Master Chief. Bred for combat, built for war, you are the master of any weapon, pilot of any vehicle, fear no enemy, and under the hood, you're almost like Noble 6. You have 70 shield points and 45 health points, and your melee attacks deal 79 points of damage. There are differences though. You carry 4 grenades of each type, unlike Noble 6's 2. You fully recharge health now instead of relying on health packs, and you move slightly faster. You don't have armor abilities anymore, but you intrinsically have sprint, and you can pick up overshield and active camo, using them once whenever you want. The tiers will be ordered within them, so if a weapon is higher within a specific rank, it's more viable than those below it. Something you'll notice right away is that I don't have ranks below C tier. Miraculously, like the CE weapons tier list video from almost 3 years ago, goodness gracious, this game's weapon roster is very strong, and I don't think there's a single unviable weapon in the game. Everything is, at worst, decently usable. The S tiers are the best options in the game, with very little drawbacks, if any. For the first time, I'm using an S- tier. Weapons ranked S- are much better than the A tiers, but only appear in a handful of missions and are not available for a majority of the game. The A tiers are solid choices, but may have noticeable flaws that prevent them being S. The B tiers are generally good weapons, but have significant drawbacks that hurt their viability. Our lowest tier, the C tier, will have situationally good weapons. They'll do well in specific instances, but greatly struggle in others. I do want to reiterate, just because something is C tier on this list does not make it bad. It still has niches worth exploring. I once again would like to shout out Scruffy the Sasquatch's damage table spreadsheet, which I'll be referencing in this video. But there's a twist. I am the one who filled these entries out. For those who are new here, damage effects in Halo use global damage modifiers that modify the final damage output using this formula here. I'll be referencing this table alongside the damage types and materials, so if you'd like to follow along, have this spreadsheet open so you'll understand what I'm talking about. For those who stuck through that, thank you for listening and increasing my video's watch time metric. Let's get to tiering, starting with the one, the only, M6D pistol. It features a 2x scope and has a fire recovery time of 0.28 seconds, giving it a similar rate of fire to its Combat Evolved counterpart, and holding the trigger fires the pistol automatically. It holds 12 bullets per magazine. It can carry 108 rounds in reserve, one magazine less than the original. Its projectiles emulate hit scan behavior, and damage per shot was reduced by 2 points, while using the bullet slow damage type. Its max range is 2.5 times higher than the original games. The spread values match the original's multiplayer version, making it less accurate when spamming the trigger. Longtime viewers of the channel know exactly what this means. To maintain accuracy, you have to, and say it with me, pace your shots. Campaign Evolved's M6D is, in my opinion, more powerful than the original version. But what gives? How's it stronger if it deals less damage per shot? There's a few factors to consider. First, it's much easier to land shots. The projectile velocity is so fast that shot leading at long range is no longer necessary. Bullet magnetism is also a lot stronger than Combat Evolved's, and achieving red reticle is a lot easier. Finally, let's go back to the damage per shot, because despite the small nerf, it does not tell the whole story. The original pistol is hard-coded to deal 20% less damage to elite shields, while Campaign Evolved's has no damage reduction. All of this results in fewer shots to kill Campaign Evolved's elites, and here's each of the kill prereqs compared to Combat Evolved. Ammo is relatively common. Even on Assault in the Control Room, a level that had some long pistol ammo droughts in Halo 1, you don't need to venture as far to get ammo, so there's more resupply caches and less rooms. Ammo only gets more common when the Flood are introduced, with combat forms wielding the pistol. While the pistol can't one-shot hunters anymore, you could break off their back armor and aim for their new crit spot. 2 shots there is a kill. The pistol is even better at melee attacking than the Combat Evolved version, now that melee lunge is in the game. Before the August 17th update, accuracy against shielded jackal hands was inconsistent, but now hitting them is way easier. The Flood matchup is mostly better too. Combat forms have a headshot region on their chest, insta-killing if you shoot there. The Sentinel matchup is much better here. Pistol bullets in Combat Evolved had an 80% damage nerf versus Sentinel armor, but that's no longer the case here. Unshielded Sentinels die in 6 shots, while shielded Sentinels need 10. With all that said, the pistol has some drawbacks. It's not as good versus vehicles as it once was. For example, Banshees were a 23-shot kill in Combat Evolved, but are now a 40-shot kill in Campaign Evolved. The aforementioned spread values can make it difficult to stay on target, and because you have to pace your shots, that reduces your DPS. In the prequel, brutes could be a pain since they can't be killed by headshots. If you aim for their mouths, however, it grants you a damage bonus, but that's easier said than done with how sporadic their movements are. Hitting their mind control devices is hard too. I'd stay away from tank pure forms. Even if you aim for their mouth, they don't take much damage. The pistol's shortcomings are vastly outweighed by its positives though, so we're starting off strong with S tier. It being way easier to use now, along with its stronger elite matchup, are its biggest benefits that make it one of the best weapons in the game. But do you know what else is S tier? Today's sponsor, War Thunder, the most comprehensive vehicle combat game of all time, now available for free on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. Tired of not having enough content in modern gaming? Rest assured that War Thunder has over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 different world nations and over a century of military history. Whether it's the most sophisticated pieces of modern military hardware or old school legends from even the 1920s, the choices are endless. Those who watch my videos know that I'm always talking about damage types and how they interact with different in-game materials. This makes War Thunder's advanced vehicle damage model right up my alley. Every vehicle has specific parts built into them, including fuel tanks, weapons, and engines. They're all susceptible to being damaged or disabled by various ballistics, and projectiles, armor, and other defensive systems emulate their real-life counterparts. War Thunder is incredibly immersive, with highly detailed vehicles, realistic graphical fidelity, and authentic sound effects that put you right at the helm of the most powerful tools of destruction ever made. In War Thunder, you are the pilot of any vehicle, and all you need is either a controller or a mouse and keyboard, even in simulator mode. Join a worldwide community spanning over 95 million players in epic PvP battles, and once again, it's free to download on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and mobile. Sign up now using either the link for PC and console players or the mobile players link based on your platform of choice. Both new players and returning veterans who have not played for at least 6 months on PC and console can receive a massive bonus pack. This includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account access. You not only receive all these amazing deals, you support my channel as well, so it's a win-win. This offer is only available for a limited time, so strike first while the iron is hot. Next up, we have the standard assault rifle. It holds 36 rounds per magazine and can carry 324 in reserve. The weapon tag states that the rate of fire is 12 rounds per second, but Reach's engine cannot achieve this fire rate, so it defaults to 10 rounds per second. Its spread ranges from 0.3 degrees to 3.5 degrees. Like the pistol, its max range is 2.5 times higher than the originals, and its bullets emulate hit scan behavior. It deals 8.5 bullet slow damage per shot, with a 40% headshot damage boost, totaling 11.9 against heads. The assault rifle is our first smart scope weapon, giving it a 1.4 times zoom and a D-scope immunity. At the beginning of this video, I brought up glitches that were fixed with the August 17th update, and now that we're on the assault rifle, it's time to bring up the rate of fire glitch. Due to a floating point error, certain automatic weapons had slower fire rates than intended, of 8.57 rounds per second. This fire rate was not fast enough for the AR's bloom to expand, and it was a laser beam at full auto. Now, the bug is fixed, and the bloom expands while firing full auto. Even with this nerf, the assault rifle is still amazing. You can maintain accuracy by firing relatively long bursts of around 5 to 8 shots before the bloom expands. Grunts, jackals, and unshielded combat forms quickly die thanks to the headshot damage bonus. The shielded jackal matchup is really good as long as you burst fire. Elites and shielded combat forms don't deal with this weapon either. You can either hang back and burst fire into them, or get up close while full auto. Once their shields are out, they die quickly to headshots. Hunters are vulnerable when aiming for the crit spot, dying to a handful of shots. Even sentinels don't like fighting the AR. With your improved accuracy, hitting them is not difficult at all. Finding ammo is one of the easiest things to do in this game. Just about every human weapon cache has AR ammo pickups, and most Marines carry this weapon. Against large swarms of infection forms, the assault rifle's high fire rate, and now the wider spread thanks to the update, make it good at clearing them out. In the hands of multiple Marine allies, the assault rifle is surprisingly good, holding their own quite well on Legendary. It's no fuel rod gun or anything, and they'll struggle versus multiple high tier enemies, but you could do worse. There are some minor downsides. The tank pure form is a no-go. Like the pistol, they absorb damage like it's nothing. Vehicles are pretty dicey too. Banshees deal much more damage than Combat Evolves, and the AR's bullets only have 25% effectiveness versus their armor. The brutes sponge AR rounds unless you shoot their face, which is hard to hit thanks to their sporadic movement. Hitting their mind control device is also tough to do. However, berserking brutes are more predictable, which eases the difficulty of face shooting. Now that the AR blooms properly, I've discovered that crouching worsens your accuracy, just like Reach's plasma rifle. Don't crouch at this thing expecting better accuracy. This is one of the most viable campaign assault rifles of all time, and I'm putting it in A tier. This was originally S tier pre-update, but now that we have full auto spread, it's no longer the brainless laser beam it was before, actually taking a modicum of skill to use now. Let's talk about the Magnified assault rifle. It uses the same projectile as the standard AR, and it too has smart scope, but everything else is different. The rate of fire is 15 rounds per second with a fixed spread of 3.5 degrees. On top of holding 60 rounds per mag, it can carry 540 spare rounds, one magazine less than Combat Evolved's AR. I am happy that the 60 round AR is in the game, even if I wish that was the standard setting rather than an optional skull. Since this weapon shares the same projectile as a 36 round AR, it too has the 1.4 times headshot multiplier, and DPS is overall higher. Thanks to the wide firing spread, you just mow down grunt squads and infection forms effortlessly. Jackals are harder to hit from range, but closing the distance will help you shred them. An elite up close, caught unaware, is killed quickly too, as are hunters when you shoot at the crit spot. Combat forms like to charge you head on, and when they're this close to you, their headshot region is easy to hit. Since this weapon replaces all the standard ARs, ammo supply is just as abundant as the standard ARs. This game launched with a detrimental glitch for this AR. NPCs could not fire it. The August 17th patch fixed this. Magnified AR Marines are much better than the standard AR users. Their higher rate of fire gives them more DPS. The Magnified AR has a significant downside: its effective range. The fact you cannot improve accuracy with burst fire is a major detriment. Enemies at mid to long range are tough opponents for this AR, especially shielded jackals and high-ranking elites. I did mention how good this weapon is up close against unaware targets, but like I mentioned with the Reach Weapons tier list videos, close quarters is not a place you want to be unless you have a very strong weapon. Against tougher elites that are aware of your position, this AR struggles to deal with them. Their plasma rifles stun your movement, and they'll quickly kill you with their fast melee jabs. The bad accuracy makes the Sentinel matchup not that good. You deal with brutes better than the regular AR up close, but they're a nuisance. The Magnified AR is B tier. It's very strong up close, and ammo supply is just as common as the regular ARs. However, it's outclassed by its 36 round counterpart, which is much easier to use at range, and can hold its own up close as well. Our first Covenant weapon is the Plasma Pistol. It's mostly the same as Reach's Plasma Pistol, including the overcharged bolt's battery expenditure per shot, and the primary shot's fire recovery time, spread values, improved accuracy by crouching, projectile velocity, and damage per shot. There are some differences though. The primary fire expends 0.5% of the battery per shot, giving you 200 shots total. Charging the Plasma Pistol drains less of the battery per second, from Reach's 3% to Campaign Evolved's 0.5%. The overcharged projectile starts at 12 world units per second, then slows down to 9 world units per second. The most drastic change, however, is the overcharge damage. The impact damage effect deals 100 points of plasma slow damage, and its area of effect deals 300 points of EMP damage. If you watched my Reach Weapons tier list videos, I gushed about the Plasma Pistol in that game. I'm doing that again here, only it's even stronger in Campaign Evolved. This thing's nuts. The primary fire is as deadly as ever, killing unshielded enemies in just a few shots. However, there's an actual reason to use the charge shot now outside of EMPing vehicles, because it got insanely buffed. It's powerful enough to kill grunts and jackals in one shot, except for Spec Ops grunts who survive on 10 HP. The charged bolt is even strong enough to blow up elite combat forms, one-shot unshielded sentinels, and one-shot hunters if you're lucky enough to hit the crit spot. However, if you can't hit that crit spot, 5 charge shots on the worms is enough to kill a hunter. With Smart Scope, you achieve red reticle at longer ranges than before, which allows overcharge shots to track from further away. Because charging drains less of the battery per second, you're not as punished for holding a charge. The nerf to the battery drain on primary fire hardly matters when the Plasma Pistol is the most common enemy weapon in the game. I've already mentioned EMPing vehicles, but this allows you to get the first Banshee on Assault in the Control Room much easier than the original, which required an exploit commonly used by speedrunners. Disabling vehicles in general is a powerful niche that only the Plasma Pistol can do in Campaign Evolved. Stunning shade turrets, ghosts, and wraiths is a great way to stop them. TX Leisure on Twitter mentioned that overcharged shots could destroy the fusion reactors on the Maw. So yeah, don't listen to Cortana, you don't need explosives. Sadly, just like in Reach, the plasma pistol is only mid in the hands of friendly AI. They don't charge the weapon, and their damage is nerfed compared to yours. The tank Pure Form takes decent damage when aimed for their head, but I wouldn't advise trying. The Brute matchup is even worse. They resist plasma fire, and despite taking more damage to their face, it's better just to use something else. We have yet another S tier. Imagine the Reach plasma pistol, but better. Its vehicle EMP is unique to it, the primary fire is very strong, and the overcharge is more powerful than ever. The plasma rifle is up next. It's quite different from both the Combat Evolved and Reach variants. Its rate of fire ranges from 5 rounds per second to 10 rounds per second. Its max rate of fire too was once 8.57 due to the rate of fire glitch. Its battery holds 200 shots. Its spread ranges from 0.5 degrees to 1.25 degrees. The projectile velocity is 25 world units per second with a max range of 40 world units. It deals 7 to 11 damage of plasma slow per shot depending on the range. The plasma rifle is solid. It's not only good at stripping shields, it deals good body damage too, easily killing grunts and jackals. While unshielded elites resist plasma slow, the plasma rifle is still strong enough for melees to kill after a few shots. It's good for the Flood too. Hitting the Affection Form weak spot kills combat forms quickly, and shielded elite forms don't like facing it. As with everything else listed so far, hitting Hunters in the crit spot deals a ton of damage to them. Plasma cuts through Sentinels like in the original game. This is notable on the Maw, where Sentinels fight you in close quarters. The plasma rifle is better in allied hands than the plasma pistol. They deal full damage to targets, and are great supports against high-ranking elites. Truth and Reconciliation in particular has a ton of plasma rifles to give to your Marines. While I think the plasma rifle is good, it can't hold a candle to the plasma pistol, which is stronger, way more common, and has anti-vehicle capability. Before the Flood are introduced, this weapon is mostly exclusive to elites, so while it's not uncommon, you simply find way more plasma pistols in comparison. I say mostly because there's a few plasma rifle jackals on Truth and Rec right before boarding the ship. The plasma rifle is good at shield stripping of course, but it takes time to strip an elite shield with that slow initial fire rate, whereas the overcharged plasma pistol does it instantly. It doesn't help that the battery is weak. 200 shots is not a lot when it takes effort to break shields. Despite the fixed rate of fire, it comes with a downside of overheating sooner, so keep that in mind. I would not recommend using it versus brutes for the same reason I gave the plasma pistol. Just use something else. A bit of a spoiler, but its brute counterpart is better in the prequel for reasons I'll get to later. B tier with the plasma rifle. It's a good weapon on its own, and a solid choice to give to Marines, but the plasma pistol mogs on it, and the brute version is just better in the prequel. On the second mission, we come across the Needler. It shares its ammo capacity, super combine requirement, and individual impact damage with Reach's Needler. It was another victim of the rate of fire bug, and now its rate of fire starts at 7 rounds per second, then builds up to 10. Its needles travel at 8 world units per second with a max range of 26 world units. Super combines deal 240 points of explosion small damage, with its area of effect damage maxing out at 40. On paper, the Needler should be amazing. A fast reload, quick super combine kills, relatively common, smart scope to increase red reticle range, and projectiles that are twice as fast as the original Needler. Super combines detonate the bodies of Flood combat forms, preventing them from reanimating. It's our first weapon to do well versus tank pure forms, killing them with a few super combines. It kills brutes with 2 super combines, a trait very important versus enemies this bulky. The Needler is one of the few weapons that takes hunters on from the front. Their knees are trackable, and they die to 6 super combines on Legendary. Unshielded Sentinels die to 1 super combine as well. The rate of fire buff is great for the Needler, super combining sooner than before. The fixed Jackal hand targeting also benefited the Needler, tracking their hands more easily. While it chews through ammo at times, enemies drop much more ammo than Reach's Needler, and on 343 Guilty Spark and the prequel levels, Needler ammo packs are available. However, there's a reason why I said the Needler sounds amazing on paper, because it has a major flaw. Just like Reach's Needler, it cannot super combine on shields. This makes elites and shielded combat forms an awkward matchup. You can use a whole magazine to take out their shields and then super combine, but that's a hefty ammo investment when you could just plasma pistol them instead. That being said, this makes plasma weapons a great partner for the Needler, stripping shields to set up for a super combine. Disappointingly, super combines are not as good versus carrier forms, which don't destroy the infection forms inside them, unlike Halo 3's Needler. The Needler is the worst weapon to give to allies. Like in past games, they cannot trigger super combines and they deal pathetic damage. The Needler is definitely a niche pick, but its niches are good enough for B tier. It's great for the Flood, Hunters, and especially Brutes, but it needs help for shielded enemies, and you'll chew through ammo really fast. Thankfully, the ammo issues are not as bad as with Reach's Needler. The sniper rifle is similar to Reach's. It has the same fire recovery time, ammo capacity, zoom levels, and deals heavy damage to vehicles. Its damage per shot, however, is the same as Combat Evolved's at 101. Its projectiles overpenetrate, hitting multiple targets with one shot when lined up. This weapon's incredible. While it lacks the fire rate of Combat Evolved's sniper rifle, all of the bad matchup CE sniper had were rectified here. Banshees are shot down in 3 shots, and Ghosts in 5. Wraiths need quite a few shots to take down from the front, but 3 shots to the backside weak spot blow them up. Sentinels used to only take 20% damage from snipers, but in Campaign Evolved, they no longer resist it. Unshielded Sentinels explode in 2 shots, while shieldeds need 3. Most surprisingly, the Flood matchup is a lot better. They only took 5% damage in the original, but now they take full damage, with unshielded combat forms dying to 2 shots to the body, or 1 to the headshot region. Against everything else, it's as you would expect. All Grunts and Jackals except for Spec Ops Grunts die to 1 body shot. Minor and Major elites need 2 shots to kill, if the second is a headshot, while the stronger elites need 3. On the missions a sniper rifle appears in, ammo drops are somewhat common, especially on Truth and Reconciliation, where you start off with 60 spare rounds. If you turn off screen shake in the settings, it removes the sniper rifle's recoil, simulating its Combat Evolved performance. Marines are not accurate with the sniper rifle. They shoot severely off target, and when they do land shots, they don't deal full damage. I do want to bring up Johnson's stanchion though. It's technically just a model variant of the sniper rifle, despite being a separate weapon tag, but Johnson's set up to be extremely accurate with it and deal the maximum damage. The Brute matchup is weird. They die in 4 body shots, 2 face shots, and 7 helmet shots. I'm not sure why the helmet takes so much damage compared to the body armor, but in my opinion, just go for body shots, unless you catch a Brute standing still. The sniper rifle's ammo expenditure in general is higher than the originals. Minor elites needing 2 shots to kill is unfortunate, when only 1 was necessary in the original. Plus, now that we have ultra elites requiring 3 shots to kill, that only further drains the ammo pool. These elite-based downsides really sting on the second level, as the sniper rifles don't come with as much ammo compared to Combat Evolves. Hunters no longer being one-shots hurts too, but they're instantly killed when hit in the crit spot. I mentioned its better Flood and Sentinel matchups, but you only get 12 rounds for them. To add salt to the wound, the sniper rifle that originally spawned on Keys was replaced with a beam rifle Jackal. I also talked about its good vehicle damage, but I'd only attack Banshees, since they're 3-shot kills. You're better off just using the rocket launcher versus Ghosts and Wraiths to save sniper ammo. The sniper rifle's A tier. Unlike in Combat Evolved, it actually deals vehicle damage, however, the usable ammo supply is stretched thinner in this game, with less ammo available on the second mission, and it doesn't help that the tougher enemies need more effort to kill now compared to the original. Before we continue, if and only if you're enjoying this video so far, may you please do the YouTube thing and like the video and subscribe if you're not subbed already. It's free, and this video took a monumental amount of time to produce, with hundreds of gigabytes of footage recorded to ascertain as many details as I could. Thank you. The rocket launcher first appears on the Silent Cartographer. It's nearly a clone of its Reach counterpart. Same damage, projectile velocity, zoom levels, and fire recovery time. However, it could track all vehicle types, not just air vehicles. The rocket launcher is much more viable this time around than in Combat Evolved. The target tracking alone eases the vehicle matchup immensely. In fact, the target transfer exploit from Halo Reach makes a return in Campaign Evolved. Since hunters can't be one-shot by precision weapons anymore, using rockets versus them is actually worth it. They go down in 3 shots to the front, or 2 to the back. Rocket Flood are more common during the library, and with a tank pure form in the mix, having a 2-shot option for them is really nice. As is the case with every Halo rocket launcher, ammo supply will always be the Achilles heel. It's the rarest human weapon, so every shot you fire has to count. Hitting elites can be tricky due to how fast on their feet they can be, especially if they're far away. What's even more surprising is how poor the rocket launcher is in Marine hands. They used to target track everything in the October build, but they've since lost that feature, not even tracking vehicles like the player can. This makes allied rocket users quite mid in open spaces. I'll give the rocket launcher A tier. It's as devastating as most rocket launchers are, and the vehicle tracking ability is really nice. However, the nerfed ally NPC handling, as well as low ammo availability, keep it away from S tier. The last originally usable Combat Evolved weapon is the shotgun. This one's unique from all the other shotguns in the series. It holds 10 shells at a time, with a maximum of 50 in reserve. Its max range is 16 rolled units, and fires 15 pellets per shot. With a 15% headshot multiplier, pellets deal 8 to 18 bullet slow damage depending on the range. The shotgun's batshit insane, and I'm all for it. A great callback to the original monster. It appears just in time for the Flood, absolutely decimating every Flood form. It's strong enough to detonate combat form bodies at point blank range, preventing reanimation. Tank pure forms fall to 4 headshots. As for the Covenant, hunters are 2-shot without needing to hit the crit spot. The toughest elites in the game are 2-shot at point blank, otherwise dying to 3 a little further out. Even brutes are a 3-shot to the body. If you somehow hit their face at point blank, it's a 1-shot kill. But this is very unlikely to happen in practice. Ammo is really common, whether it's through human ammo caches or from combat forms using it, and they drop a good amount of ammo. Long range engagements, even with the relatively high range the shotgun has, will be tough for this weapon. Thankfully, sprint closes the distance to them. Sentinels in particular are not good to fight unless they're close to you. The shotgun's okay in allied hands. They're useless against ranged opponents, but up close, they deal pretty good damage. The shotgun's an easy S tier, one of the most powerful shotguns in the series, and in some ways, it exceeds the original. Now we move on to weapons that were in Combat Evolved, but unusable until now. Let's start with the Energy Sword. It's effectively Reach's Energy Sword, sharing its damage and lunge range, and it's the only weapon to not have Smart Scope. It expends 10% of its battery with each Covenant kill, and 2.5% with Flood and Sentinel kills. I shouldn't have to tell you that the sword is really strong. It's the only weapon in the game to one-hit kill a hunter. While major elites and above do not die in one hit, that first swing knocks their shields out, leaving them vulnerable to headshots. This is actually a battery-efficient way to use the sword, as a melee-centric noob combo with a precision weapon. The sword really comes into its own when the Flood are introduced. All combat forms not only die in one hit, their bodies are destroyed too. Tank pure forms are also weak to this, dying in 2 hits. The fact there's minimal battery drain with Flood kills, no matter the form, is a huge boon for the sword, and it will be your second best friend on Flood levels right behind the shotgun. The sword does have major issues though. It's one of the rarest weapons in the standard campaign, although Truth and Wreck is an exception, with a ton of swords available throughout the cruiser. The 10% battery drain on Covenant kills limits the sword's usage, making you not want to use it on Grunts and Jackals. Brutes are 2-hit kills on Legendary, which is a huge problem. Their weapons deal great shield damage, and by the time you hit them, you're weak enough to die to their melee attacks. You can hit their face for the 1-hit kill, but aiming for their face is difficult since their lunges gravitate to the torso, so you'll need verticality on Brutes, and even then, the face is not a guaranteed hit. Since plasma bolts stun you in this game, closing the distance to anything using plasma is tricky. I have to give the sword B tier. Don't get me wrong, it absolutely dunks on the Flood, and offering a one-hit kill versus hunters is extremely important. However, the shotgun is just as good, if not better against the Flood, while wrecking everything else, and has a major ammo advantage over the sword. At the end of 343 Guilty Spark, we find the Sentinel Beam. It expends 3.9% of the battery, and deals 210 plasma fast damage per second, with a bonus anti-flood effect. This is one of the most powerful Sentinel Beams in the entire franchise, maybe second to Infinite's. Every infantry unit is weak to this. The Flood in its entirety are melted. Hunters instantly die when shooting the crit spot, and even against the worms, it's extremely effective. Even against other Sentinels, it's amazing, destroying both variants with little effort. It's everything Reach's focus rifle wished it was. For a weapon this powerful, its minimal battery usage is insane. On top of that, most Sentinel squads always come with at least 4 Sentinel Beams, giving you a lot of ammo to work with. The Maw, in particular, is infested with Sentinels. If there's a downside to the Sentinel Beam, it's the spotty availability on 2 Betrayals. There's a good amount in the beginning, but the middle part of the mission is lacking in Sentinels, and you won't find more until the very last pulse generator. It can hit vehicles relatively hard, but I wouldn't recommend wasting ammo on these when the other weapons fare better. Its availability is almost entirely limited to Sentinel encounters, which makes getting one kind of awkward when the Sentinels are allies. You'll either wait for one to die by the Flood, or team kill to get one. The Sentinel Beam is our first S- tier. Nothing is safe from this thing, an absolute monster. However, it only shows up in 4 standard campaign levels, and its acquisition on 343 Guilty Spark and the library is awkward when the Sentinels are your teammates. Our final original combat evolved weapon is the Fuel Rod Gun. It has a 2x zoom, a fire recovery time of half a second, and each clipazine holds 5 fuel rods, with 20 in reserve. The fuel rods start at 18 world units per second, then slow down to 11 world units per second after 6 world units. Both the impact and AoE damage effects deal 100 points of damage, so 200 total. This might be my second favorite fuel rod gun, right behind the Gearbox PC ports. It 2-shots every elite rank, 2-shots brutes versus their torsos, 4-shots tank pure forms, and 1-shots every light enemy. Hunters hate facing this too. Enemies flung into the air cannot fire weapons, and there's enough knockback to force a hunter airborne. It decimates vehicles, most notably wraiths, destroying in 5 shots when aiming for the wings. The fuel rod gun is amazing at clearing hallways, and the levels it appears in have plenty of tight corridors that bunch enemies together. Its projectiles are also fast for a fuel rod, giving it better ranged capabilities than its predecessors. For a weapon with this power level, ammo is quite common in the standard campaign, reaching its apex on the Maw with a ton of fuel rod grunts at the start. Another noteworthy ammo spot is on 2 Betrayals on the way to the Mythic Skull. A lot of fuel rod grunts are in there. Ammo's even more common in the prequel, with more fuel rod grunts appearing and even weapon caches offering max ammo. For whatever reason, there's no camera shake when firing the fuel rod, even with screen shake enabled in the settings. This makes staying on target stupidly easy when scoped in. The fuel rod's the second best allied weapon in the game. Since rocket marines can't target track anymore, fuel rod marines have the advantage in spamming the heck out of this launcher. That being said, the second prequel level is the only time you can have fuel rod marines through normal gameplay. If you're careful with your marines and bring over a fuel rod from the previous level, you can have a whole squad of fuel rod marines, and they'll decimate everything in their path. Despite the faster projectiles, they're still too slow for long-range enemies, and they'll dodge before your shots land. I did mention that ammo is relatively common, but there's stretches of time where ammo is scarce for a while, and this is felt on 2 Betrayals and Keys. The fuel rod is our next S- tier. I think it's much better than A tier, but it has some ammo droughts, and it's only in the last 3 levels of the standard campaign, as well as the prequel. Now we're on to the brand new weapons to the Combat Evolved setting, starting with the SMG. It has 60 round magazines, holding 360 in reserve. The tag states it fires at 18 rounds per second, but this too is impossible in the Reach engine, so it defaults to 15 rounds per second. Its spread ranges from 1.5 degrees to 3.5 degrees, and has recoil to compensate for. Projectiles have a max range of 70 world units, and bullets deal 7.5 bullet slow damage with a 20% headshot damage boost. I love this game's SMG, and I wish the 60-round AR performed like this. It's quite accurate with burst fire, and for a Halo SMG, it hits hard. It shreds through grunts and jackals, and it's not bad versus elites in 1v1 fights, especially when aiming for the head. Like with most weapons, hunters drop when shooting the crit spot, but the SMG has an advantage with its wide spread, increasing your chances to hit it. It's really good for the Flood, sweeping through infection forms and dropping unshielded combat forms when shooting their weak spot. The SMG is similar to ODSTs thanks to Smart Scope, but with the added benefit of D-Scope immunity. I want to rate this weapon highly. It's so fun to use, but where's the ammo? The SMG does not have its own ammo pack, requiring you to find other SMGs to replenish ammo. It's like a major event whenever the SMG actually appears. The Truth and Rex hangar bay is its only ammo cache appearance in the first half. Besides that, Marines will be your only SMG ammo source for this part of the game. Things do improve with the second half though. The Pelican at the beginning of Guilty Spark has a ton of SMGs inside it, and combat forms start to use it too. However, even in the second half, the SMG's ammo supply pales in comparison to the assault rifles. Even in the prequel, its appearances are limited to just a handful throughout the mini-campaign. For its ammo pool, the SMG is just not powerful enough to justify prolonged usage. In fact, now that the assault rifle blooms more, that weapon's encroaching on the SMG's niches, such as great infection form control and fending off large grunt squads. On the third prequel level on a fresh save, you get an SMG with 600 reserve ammo, but even that'll dry up fast. Its brute matchup's not good either, and I would not suggest it unless they're berserking. The SMG is unfortunately C tier, entirely thanks to its paltry ammo supply. They really should have made an ammo pack for the SMG and sprinkled it with the assault rifle ammo. Halo 2 had one! Next up is the beam rifle. It has 2 zoom levels, a 3x and a 9x. Its fire recovery time is 0.4 seconds and spends 5% of the battery per shot, offering 20 shots total. It deals 90 damage per shot, using both plasma fast and sniper at the same time. There's no world where you'd rather use the beam rifle over the sniper rifle, given that it's weaker and less common than the latter. That being said, it makes for a great backup singer for the sniper rifle. I mentioned how the sniper has a tougher time with ammo usage than the original, but as a second sniper weapon, the beam rifle alleviates this. You can give the sniper rifle a break by killing grunts and jackals, saving sniper ammo for the elites. This is particularly helpful on Halo, where a few jackal snipers are at the rock slide. The beam rifle has other positive traits. If you pace your shots, you can just continuously fire without overheating. Its projectiles force NPCs to stagger when taking health damage, allowing you to stun lock hunters and prevent them from firing at you. You can then reach around to backshot them. The Brute's matchup's not bad if you hit their torsos for a 4-shot kill. It's actually stronger versus unshielded sentinels than the sniper rifle, one-shotting them compared to the sniper's 2-shot. Sadly, the beam rifle has problems. As I said earlier, it's weaker than the sniper rifle, requiring 3 shots to kill elite majors. That's why I suggest to use it versus grunts and jackals if you also have a sniper rifle, since the latter kills majors in 2 shots. The beam rifle is pretty rare in the standard campaign, appearing just a handful of times. Truth and Wreck is notable though, with quite a few jackal snipers and the only beam rifle locker in the entire campaign. It's much more common in the prequel, with a ton of lockers and jackal snipers available. Beam rifle marines are not good. Just like when they use the sniper rifle, they miss a ton, and they don't deal max damage when shots actually land. I'm giving the beam rifle B tier. It's a lot better in the prequel since it's more common there, but it being weaker than the sniper rifle versus elite majors, and not that common in the standard campaign, knocks its viability down. The needle rifle makes its first appearance on keys. Almost all of its stats are identical to Reach's needle rifle, including zoom level, fire recovery time, ammo capacity, and firing spread. The difference is in the damage output. The super combined damage was nerfed from Reach, but that doesn't matter because the impact damage was tripled. Now 18 needle damage per shot. This is the most overpowered precision weapon Halo has ever produced. It's its own noob combo. The needle damage type deals double damage to shields, So 18 times 2 is 36! If this was in multiplayer, Spartans would be 2-shot. I can't believe they tripled its damage per shot with 0 downsides. The strongest elites on Legendary die to 7 shots, so you can theoretically kill 3 zealots with 1 magazine. Hunters die in 4 super combines, and brutes fall to 2. Shielded combat forms are a 5-shot kill, and every other flood form folds to this beast, even tank pure forms, which die to a single mag. This thing is everywhere in the prequel, with many ammo caches and needle rifle users present. It's especially egregious on the 3rd mission. Nearly every room has at least 1 needle rifle in it. Even the gondola has 2 needle rifles randomly there. Just like Reach's needle rifle, shooting enemies will force dodges, stopping weapons fire. If you can predict where they'll end up after a dodge, it becomes very exploitable. It's also underrated with friendly NPCs. They too force enemies to dodge, while dealing great shield damage and even killing with headshots. Sadly, they cannot trigger super combines. I was originally going to make a needle rifle tier above S for the memes, but its performance on keys reins in its overall viability a bit. It only appears a few times, so ammo supply is pretty scarce there. It's also terrible versus vehicles, but to be fair, vehicles only take up 5% of the prequel's encounters, and Johnson has a stanchion to hurt them anyway. In fact, on the 3rd prequel level, a Wraith conveniently parks next to plasma batteries, and the needle rifle can shoot them to destroy the Wraith. The needle rifles are next S- tier. This would be in a class of its own, but its keys performance weighs it down. Don't get it twisted though, this thing is not balanced in the slightest. It's ridiculously overpowered. Now it's time for the prequel only weapons, starting with the battle rifle. It has a 2x zoom and holds 36 rounds per magazine with 108 rounds in reserve. Its fire recovery time is 0.28 seconds. Its spread ranges from 0.3 degrees to 0.6 degrees, and on top of that, it recoils with each burst. It deals 11 bullet slow damage per bullet, or 33 per burst. This battle rifle is weird. It's the hardest hitting battle rifle I've covered in this series so far, but that doesn't matter when it's the most inconsistent variant of all time. It can kill elites with a similar number of shots to the needle rifle, but you'll likely whiff some bullets, decreasing the damage you deal. The wide spread on top of burst recoil makes headshots a real pain to land. It's best to aim slightly above the chest and allow the recoil to move your crosshair to the head. However, thanks to the spread, even this is not a foolproof strategy. The pistol, and especially the needle rifle, outclass the BR in most aspects, but the BR is not entirely useless. Its spread and recoil miraculously make it the most consistent option for hitting the brute's mind control device, hitting it more often than the other precision weapons. If you're dealing with multiple brutes, but lack a strong weapon to quickly kill them, the battle rifle helps in this regard, turning the brutes on each other. That being said, if you have a needle rifle, you could just kill them with 2 super combines and not waste time. Something I recently discovered is its faster switch time than the pistols and needle rifles. That sounds inconsequential, but this makes the BR the best noob combo partner. The faster switch time results in killing elites sooner. Ammo for the BR is a bit of an issue in the prequel. It appears a handful of times in the 1st and 3rd missions, and with your limited reserve ammo supply and poor accuracy, you'll burn through ammo fast. However, the 2nd prequel level has Williams accompanying you. If she falls in combat, she'll drop her BR. You could pick up that BR and she'll respawn with another one, giving you an infinite BR ammo supply. The way she fires her BR is peculiar because her bursts are faster than yours, almost looking like single shots. Her projectiles deal 20% more damage than yours too. While we're talking about allied NPCs, before the August 17th patch, Marines could not use this weapon. Just like the Magnified AR, it was not in the AI generic character tag. Now it is, and Marines can use it, but just watch. They're double-shotting this thing like it's Halo 2 multiplayer, and they do not have nerfed damage. A group of BR Marines just shreds everything, even brutes. It's the best allied weapon in the game, but only time will tell if they patch this. I have to give the BR B tier. This is easily the worst BR in the series, but it has some underrated traits. It being the fastest noob combo weapon in the prequel, its consistency versus brute mind control devices, and it being so OP in the hands of Marines, keeps it out of C. Our penultimate weapon is the brute plasma rifle. As with tradition, the rate of fire is faster than the regular plasma rifles. The tag states it goes from 10 to 12 rounds per second, but while its 8.57 fire rate bug was fixed, 12 rounds per second is not possible. This makes the fire rate a flat 10 rounds per second. Its spread ranges from 1.25 degrees to 2 degrees, and it drains 0.25% of the battery per shot, offering 400 shots. It deals 9 to 14 plasma slow damage per shot, depending on the range. The brute plasma rifle surprised me. I initially wrote it off for its worst full auto accuracy, but I've come to realize that it's actually pretty tight, slightly more accurate at full auto than Halo 1's plasma rifle. Burst fire maintains good accuracy, and elites are easy targets at medium range. Its high damage output melts shields and health alike. It's decently common in the prequel, appearing in weapon lockers and used by brutes, although spiker brutes are more common. Thankfully, it has the strongest battery out of all the plasma weapons, letting you use it longer. Brute plasma rifle marines are better than regular plasma rifle marines in every way. They benefit from the brute weapon's higher damage output. As I've mentioned with all the plasma weapons, brutes are a tough opponent. You'll need to make them berserk, then aim for the face as best you can to bring them down. While I mentioned the accuracy is better than it seems, enemies from very long range will be annoying for you, especially Jackal snipers. Overall, I'd say it's better than the standard plasma rifle, so I'm giving it A tier. The biggest difference makers are its stronger battery and DPS, while still being quite accurate. And last, but certainly not least, the spiker. It has the same ammo capacity, rate of fire, and projectile velocity as Reach's spiker, but has a tighter spread in Campaign Evolved, and crouching improves accuracy. It deals 14 plasma slow damage per shot, with a 2 times headshot multiplier. I must start with some bad news. The melee damage. It's not boosted. But that's okay, because damage is boosted elsewhere. It's the strongest spiker in the series, eviscerating everything it comes across. Grunts and jackals are ripped apart, especially with a doubled headshot damage. Elite shields don't stand a chance. Even the brute matchup is deceptively good, as long as you make them berserk first. Thanks to the headshot multiplier, face shots deal tremendous damage to them. Alongside Johnson's stanchion, they'll drop pretty quickly this way. I've noticed that the battle rifle of all weapons partners well with the spiker. The battle rifle triggers brute berserks for the spiker, while the spiker strips shields for the battle rifle. Spiker marines are about as good as the brute plasma rifle marines, sharing the exact same stats in everything and being good shield strippers for your precision weapons. With all the glazing out of the way, I do have to point out that it's a shield stripper that uses reloadable magazines. I mentioned this in my Reach tier list videos, but spiker users need to be aware of how much ammo is left in their current mag, something that plasma weapons do not worry about. If you engage an elite and your spiker's mag is nearly empty, that can mess you up. It doesn't help that while spiker ammo is decently common, the spare ammo count is very low, and you'll burn through your reserves. Brute plasma rifles also appear in more ammo caches than the spiker. Our final ranking is A tier for the spiker, right behind the brute plasma rifle. It hits like a truck, especially headshots, and it's surprisingly good versus berserking brutes. However, its low reserve ammo count holds it back, and as a shield stripping weapon, reloadable magazines are awkward for it. And that's it, the definitive Campaign Evolved weapons tier list. Let me know in the comments about your thoughts on my list, and anything you'd change. Our next tier list video will be Halo Reach's multiplayer. If, and only if, you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more Halo content from this channel, and ring the bell to never miss an upload. Once again, big shout out to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Make sure to check out the pinned comment or this video's description for the sign-up links for either PC and console or mobile devices to download the game for absolutely free and take advantage of my limited time offer. Newcomers and returning players who have not played in 6 months on PC and console will receive 100,000 Silver Lions, 7 days of premium account access, and the Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator. I'd like to thank my Sanghili Zealot and Counselor patrons, as well as my Needler Gang YouTube members, for further supporting the channel. Your continued patronage means the world to me, and I love each and every one of you. This is the Vengeful Vadim. Always remember that you matter more than you think you do, and I'll see you on the great journey.